Forensic science.
Take a step back. It's not all that scary. So forensics is all about DNA's homicide pathology, arson, corpse, evidence, fingerprints, fibers, blood spatters, ballistics. Just kidding. Forensics isn't a rocket science. Let's start with the basics. Have you ever wondered why police record eyewitnesses' accounts of a crime as soon as possible? What police can tell from fluff collected from a crime scene? Why DNA are considered the ultimate fingerprint? Forensic science is the scientific method of gathering and examining information about the past, which is then used in a court of law. Let's break this down a bit further. The word forensic comes from the Latin terms forensis, meaning of or before the forum. This science is primarily implemented on crime scenes. Crimes ranges from shoplifting, theft and forgery to assault and murder. All these crimes leave telltale clues that point to those most likely to have committed the crime, the suspect. The analysis of these clues is the work of forensic scientists, which is your role today. The information that they obtain from these clues is then used against suspects in court. So, who is first on the scene? The first authorities to arrive at a crime scene will usually be the police. They will quickly cordon off or rope off the crime scene, call for backup from other police, detectives, crime scene units, ambulance and fire brigades, and start interviewing eyewitnesses, which are people who were there. A team of specialists in this particular field are known as the crime scene unit or CSU. They are a team of specialists, police, photographers and forensic scientists trained in collecting and analyzing evidence. The CSU concentrate on complex and serious crimes such as homicide, where another person is killed, terrorist attacks, arson, when a fire is started deliberately, or sexual assault. Every piece of evidence from a crime scene is a clue, and the CSU thoroughly researches the area to ensure that nothing is missed. The following present 3 different methods used by CSUs to ensure that the crime scene is thoroughly searched. Every piece of evidence is then marked and photographed while in position. The crime scene is then cleared and everything is sent away to be analyzed by forensic scientists specialized in particular fields such as pathology, which is the study of disease, ballistics, which is the study of guns and bullets, toxicology, which is the study of the effects of poisons and chemicals on the body, cause of death, fingerprints, fibers, chemistry, and dentistry. The materials found at a crime scene can be classified broadly as either physical evidence or trace evidence. Anything that is reasonably large and easy to see in a crime scene is physical evidence. It includes dead bodies, bullets, bullet holes, weapons, tool marks, tracks, damaged furniture, fingerprints, or blood splatters. A corpse is a dead body. ID cards, driver's license, credit cards, Medicare cards, mobile phones, and photos can be found on or near the corpse at a crime scene to help identify the body. A series of changes in a corpse begins immediately after death and can be used to determine how long a person has been dead. Changes that can be used to determine the time of death include stiffening or muscles, color of skin, extent of decomposition, and body temperature. Every type of tool leaves its own characteristic impression or tool marks. Tool marks can help identify the weapon used at a crime scene or be used for evidence to find the suspect. Tool marks depend on the type of tool being used, whether the material being marked is hard or soft, the sharpness of the tool, and the faults in the tool. Footprints and track impressions from shoes and tires are often left behind at a crime scene. There are 2 types of impressions left at a crime scene, positive and negative. Positive impressions are images that are exactly the same as the pattern on a shoe or tire. Negative impressions are images that have been distorted by sand, mud, gravel, and much more. Fingerprints can be collected at a crime scene from objects such as guns, glass, and painted surfaces. Fingerprints can be seen on these objects because the oils excreted from fingertips act like a stamp and imprint the object. Drops of blood tell investigators a lot about what happened at a crime scene. Blood splatters give investigators a clue about how the victim died. This blood splatter is a directional blood splatter. It indicates what direction the blood moved when it hit a horizontal surface. This blood splatter is known as a drip stain. The drip stain circle indicates the blood drop has fallen vertically from the ground and that the victim was standing. The final blood splatter is called a flow pattern. A flow pattern indicates the direction of the blood was moving in when it hit a vertical surface. Trace evidence is classified as any microscopic materials found at a crime scene. Trace evidence is very useful to investigators at a crime scene because criminals cannot see it. Therefore, they cannot collect it, wipe it, or tamper with it in any way. There are 3 types of trace evidence. They are fibers, seeds, and DNA. Fibers are strands of natural materials such as hair, fur, fluff, cotton, wool, nylon, and polyester. Wherever you go, fibers are likely to fall off you. Fibers are used as evidence for a crime scene to help determine the criminal, victim, clothing, and much more. Fibers are circumstances of evidence because they point towards a suspect but cannot prove a person was there at the crime scene. Seeds are microscopic grains of pollen and seeds found at a crime scene. Seeds are compared to plants in the area of the crime scene to determine where the suspect lives. Wherever you go, and I mean wherever, you leave behind a sample of your DNA. This could include dead skin cells which fall off your body on a regular basis, saliva which can be found on discarded objects such as cigarettes and even dandruff. DNA samples are taken and tested to determine which person the DNA belongs to. The DNA of the person could not only be that of a suspect, but could also be the DNA of a witness, who can assist the investigators and police to find the fugitive and prove that they were there during the crime. So the next time you're watching CSI, consider all these things. Wink!